welcome back to Linda's Pantry. So today I'm excited to bring you along for a jalapeno popper recipe. There's a series of videos going around YouTube, and Tom over at Tom's Test Kitchen actually has a playlist of all the popper recipes that all of us have been doing out there. And so I'd like to give a shout out to Keith Bettag for starting this whole deal and getting everybody hungry for jalapeno poppers. And so my version of a kicked up popper is going to be with venison. I'm going to beer braise my venison in the sun oven, but it's going to be a Chipotle beer braised venison. And then we're going to put some cheese in there. You got to have cheese with jalapeno poppers. And then we're going to smoke it on the Traeger. Oh my gosh, these are going to be fantastic. So I hope it brings you along to stay for the video. And at the end, maybe I'll add some bloopers. You never know, because God knows I made enough of them. Go down in the About section below and check out all the links that I've left for you. Come on, let's go make some poppers. Okay, so here I've planned this meal. And I wake up this morning and we're having a probably 10 to 12 degree change in temperature downwards and clouds and wind. So this will be a challenge, and I'm going to bring you along because sun oven cooking, sometimes you wake up and if you didn't have any other means to cook, you still have to try. So that being said, I've got my venison right here, and these are venison steaks and some venison stew meat. So it's very lean, and because it's lean, we're going to do it low and slow in the sun oven. I'm going to go ahead and put my meat down in here, and that out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and get all my meat down in the bottom of the pan. Stew meat, and all this is going to end up shredded, so it doesn't matter that we have different cuts of meat there. Literally, they can all end up, and I'm trying to think how much this is. Probably 2.5 pounds of meat altogether. So you get that in there, and we're gonna braise this in a little Corona, and this is a what size? 7-ounce Corona beer. And I've got about 1/2 of a large onion that I diced up last night when I made pico de gallo, which came out amazing. I'm gonna have to share that recipe with you because I have a secret ingredient that really comes in handy. So right here I've got chipotle peppers in adobo sauce, and I had this from a recipe the other night. I used 2 of them, and I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of these. We're living on the edge here for spicy. And kind of get that stirred around. And you can fish those out at the end if you'd like. I'm going to actually pour some of this beer in this so we get all that adobo sauce in there. Go ahead and pour the rest of your beer in. Because that meat doesn't have very much fat, you definitely want some braising liquid. I've got some 1 whole lime, and I'm not going to zest it because I'm going to go ahead and juice it, and then go ahead and pop that clean, because I washed these limes, right in there, and then the essential oils will come out of the skin. And now we've got, last but not least, garlic. And garlic, super important to have in my diet. I've got 5 cloves of garlic here. You want to flavor that meat as well as possible. And then you can use this for tacos, enchiladas, quesadillas, Mexican pizza, a casserole, all kinds of stuff. And we're going to use it for jalapeno poppers, or some of it. We're not going to use all of it for that, but we're definitely going to have some outstanding poppers coming up. So just rough chop on that garlic. It doesn't have to be super small. And that, my friends, is going in the sun oven. I'm going to give this a little stir, make sure I've got it all evenly distributed and ready to go. We're going to put the lid on, and I'll meet you outside because it's going to be delicious.
All right, guys. So I'm out here. I'm going to get the sun oven set up. I
The food is cold. It's coming up cold together. So that being said, if you have time to preheat, go ahead. I haven't seen a difference. I'm pointing this at 1 o'clock sun, even though it's about 11 o'clock in the morning. And if I have to, I'll finish this in the oven indoors. But I'm hoping I get enough daylight and the winds stay calm enough. Although I've had this out in very high winds and never had it tip over. As long as your elevation bar in the back is all the way down, you have no problems with wind. And then you want to lock this up in into place, if you will. So what I do first is I'm going to go ahead and get my pan in right there, and I go ahead and I lock the lid down tight so you've got a good seal. It holds all the heat in. Your thermometer's back there. It's at, right now it's at 75 degrees. So it'll preheat pretty quickly. I pull my sun oven reflectors, and down here at the bottom, hopefully you can see this, down here at the bottom there's a little fly kind of a wheel and a slot to put it in. Go ahead and lock that into place. That'll keep this from taking off. And it's already, I can feel the heat in here. So I'm going to point it at direct sun because I want to get maximum. Now if I was going to work, I'd point it at 1, 2 o'clock sunshine, and then it's like a slow cooker, and you have dinner when you get home. So the temperature is at 300, and that's because of the cloud cover. Look at that. Can you smell that? So what I'm doing here right now is getting a piece of this meat and just seeing how tender, if it's shreddable or not. And it isn't quite, as you can see, it's not quite there. I mean, it's definitely done, but it's not shreddable done. Leave this in here another 2 hours because we want this fully shreddable. And I'm going to take a bite, see what we got. So before I get stuffing my jalapenos, I'm going to go ahead and get this, show you how shreddable this meat came out, just nice and tender. I let it cool all the way down a notch with some Tango Verde from Tango Spice Company. If you've got wimpy lips, be careful with this stuff. Start with, half a teaspoon or a couple of shakes. Stir it in. I'm going to taste this for spicy. And the rest of this is going to be great on burritos. Absolutely perfect. And it's got that citrus lime flavor too. It's really all my meat here, I just transferred it into a bowl. I've got just shy, it's just shy of an 8-ounce block of jalapeno jack cheese. And so we're going to mix that in, but we're also going to mix into our meat mixture. As you can see, I've got 5 large jalapenos that I just cut the top off, hollowed it out, but I chopped up all the tops for this, and that's going to go in. It'll keep a little bit of crunch, and you're going to have smoky jalapeno on the outside and smoky jalapeno chipotle on the inside, and fresh, and it's just going to be delicious. And then what a great way to have burritos as dressing it up in a different outfit. So get your cheese and meat all incorporated, and don't worry if you don't think there's enough cheese, because we're going to top it with cheese too. All right, so that's about right. And then we're going to stuff these peppers, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Grab a spoon, grab yourself some of that mixture, and we really want to stuff these pretty generously with everything. And I'll show you one, and I'll repeat. And I will show you, these were a little wobbly, so I just shaved off a flat spot on the bottom so they'll sit on the grill real nice too. So they're not moving all over. So get your meat mixture in, and make sure you got plenty. And then we're going to top it with a little bit of roasted corn, which is just fantastic. If you haven't ever had fire roasted corn, you need to try it. You may have to press that down a little bit to make that stay. And then, last but not least, I have some queso fresco cheese. And it just kind of crumbles. It's a very mild cheese. You could use whatever you want. Some more Jack if you want. I just want that right on top. And there you go. And then for a little more seasoning, I'm going to use some smoked paprika to make it pretty. Okay, so let me get the rest of these done. We're going to put them on the smoker. Okay, so these have been on here about a half hour, and they're really heated through, but I want a little bit more smoke on them, so we're going to leave them on for a little while longer. As you can see, these peppers came out amazing. They slow smoked on the Traeger for an hour and 15 minutes, so they've got a good amount of smoke. The outside of the peppers are soft. The inside, I already know that they're juicy and delicious, and I can't wait to try these. But these aren't a pepper necessarily that you'd pick up. They're still kind of warm too. I'm gonna cut into this because I wanna make sure that I get the whole bite. You got your corn, the cheese on top, the meat. Oh my goodness. And who doesn't love a jalapeno popper? Look at that. That looks amazing. It smells really good. So this is almost like a stuffed pepper. So juicy. The pepper is cooked perfectly. If you could do, you know, a big version of a jalapeno, it would be the ultimate stuffed pepper. But these are fantastic. The meat is spicy, and with the cheese and then the sweet corn, it just really all works. So I'm going to throw my hat into this ring of jalapeno poppers, kicked up on another notch. And yes, you can pick them up and take a big old bite. But it wouldn't be a YouTube bite now, would it? Okay, guys. Well, I'll take one more bite and then I'm out of here. Amazing. I love Chipotle. That is fantastic. All right, guys. I can't wait to see you next time. I hope if you're not a subscriber, you subscribe. Go down and hit all the links that I've left for you in the description box below. And as always, I can't wait to see you next time. And I hope it inspires you to come back. A popper and gotta start over. Playlist. Oh my gosh. Really? I can't talk today. Okay.